Hi, this is Angelina Asante. Welcome to this episode of Live from Florida. We have a special guest today. I would like to welcome my friend, multiple award winning author, and wow, I don't even know how to describe what state you're from, but it's Alice Oldford. Hi, Alice.
Hi, Angelina.
It's so good to see you. So you're originally from New Jersey, and I asked if you wanted to be described as a Mainer, and you said no. I'm Floridian. So can you kind of talk about how you got to Florida and how where you're from affects where you place your stories?
Okay. I am born and raised in New Jersey. Absolutely a beautiful area in New Jersey called Hunterdon County, which is a gateway to the great outdoors. I am a nature loving, trail loving walker from way back. At any rate, in New Jersey, I walked with a friend on a regular basis, and one summer day we looked at each other and said, we should write a book. Because we would choose the trails we walked based on the weather, based on the conditions in our lives. So my first book is called You Can Get There From Here, and it's about walking in Hunterdon County. Well, I guess that I'm not such a patient person because my books all tend to be skinny little books. And I realized that there was more to write about. So there's a sequel to that You Can Get There From Here too, which is more about trails in New Jersey. As it came close to being time to retire, my husband and I were interested in being someplace warm and less costly to live than New Jersey. Unfortunately, New Jersey is the costliest place to live in the United States.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yes,
I
it
didn't
is.
know that.
Yes, that's true. So we took a look at Florida. We had honeymooned in Florida and loved the beaches and the year-round warm weather and greenery. Love, love, love to garden. So the greenery is wonderful. And so we ended up in Florida for part of the year. And we decided we wanted to have another place up north. We each have a child in Maine, so we ended up with a summer place in Maine. We call ourselves sunbirds at this point because we spend more time in Florida than Maine. And
That's
we,
really funny. I haven't heard that. Is that a real term?
I don't think so. I think we made it up.
That's pretty funny. I love that.
So,
So now, when I met you, the first time I met you, I think we were both doing a book signing at a library, and you had a really cool cookbook. And weren't you passing out samples?
yes,
So this is a way to my heart for anyone out there, is if you give me free food.
right. It always gets people to stop and talk to you.
It's such a smart thing to do. I was like, this lady knows what she's doing.
So, my other book, that there are three books that are Trails book. My other book is called Recipes and Life. The subtitle, Life is Too Short to Be Stuck in the Kitchen. So, where that one came from was interesting. I have 5 children, and my oldest daughter said to me prior to this book, she said, Mom, you never even knew how many kids you were going to find at the table because we would bring friends or whatever, and somehow you managed to feed us all. There was always plenty of food, and we had good food. So she said, you should write a book on how you did it. I said, okay, I guess so. So I started to write a book, and it's more about kitchen tips and tricks. I think there are plenty of recipe books already on the shelf, but people like recipes. So I ended up enfolding 50 recipes in Recipes and Life. And you won't find any that require any canned ingredients. Most of them are only as much as 5 ingredients long. They're simple. So the premise is that you can make good food without having to go the fast food route, without spending all your time at it. So life is too short to be stuck in the kitchen. I'd rather be on the trail walking. So
Yeah,
there
and
you go.
I love any recipes that has 5. That's the magic number for me. I don't even mess. People buy me cookbooks and I'm like, do you even know me? I do not mess with stuff like that. And you do pictures,
Yes.
right? You have pictures in your cookbook?
Yes. I have
Sorry.
some pictures in my cookbook. Yes.
Yeah, I love that too because I love to see what I'm making, especially if it's something new. Like where I grew up in Massachusetts, we had a lot of like ethnic food, and like I'll say, even though my dad's Italian and my mom is like English, my mom was always cooking stuff that was. I mean, we had like Portuguese neighbors and Polish neighbors and Irish neighbors, and she was always like mixing our food. And a lot of the time, I would say, "Oh, we ate Gwumpkies," and like when I was first married to my husband, he's like, "What is a Gwumpkie?" Like he never even heard of that. He's from the South. It's all like Southern people that have been there, you know, a long time. And they didn't really have a lot of different types of foods. What kind of foods are you cooking in your cookbook?
My foods are not ethnic in nature. They really are just meant to be fresh food. Things that you might buy from the garden, or that you might grow in the garden or buy from the farmer's market. That
So,
sort of
so this
thing.
sounds like something maybe even like college students. So it sounds like it's
Absolutely.
marketed towards like families, but for someone who's young and doesn't really know a lot, maybe, a lot of people aren't cooking anymore. Maybe they haven't learned that from their parents. So this might be like an all ages type thing.
It's perfect for young people to get them started on the right track. It's a great idea for a shower gift or a stocking stuffer or a graduation gift. It's just a skinny little book.
Now, for the audience members, I'm interviewing Alice's son next week, and her son just wrote a book about career path. I'm thinking, Alice, graduation gift, combine these two books,
There you go.
right? That's actually a really good, the Oldford family graduation package or something. That would be a really neat thing. Right? Because really, I didn't have a lot of direction. I still don't for where I'm going and what I'm doing, but I didn't have a lot of like quick recipes and I didn't have a lot of like career path goals. So actually, I like the idea of combining these two.
Never thought of it, but you're right. It is a good idea.
Right? Yeah, that actually, let's talk about that. I'm going to help you. I don't know what I can do, but this sounds like a good thing.
In
Now, what are
fact,
you working on right now?
I'm not working on, well, I'm kind of working on a sequel to the recipes book.
So now, how long have you been back in Florida?
We've been back in Florida since early October.
Oh, okay. So I mean, what, a month? You're still
Right.
getting your Florida life back in order. And then you guys said you stay until June.
Yes.
So you're like a reverse snowbird.
Yes, a
Yeah.
sunbird.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know a lot of people that do that, so that's very interesting to me.
So when I get back in October is when I open the Florida garden.
So now what kind of stuff are you growing?
Mostly, I'm still finding my way with Florida veggies. So mostly I grow herbs. And
Because I know I saw this on Facebook. There's a big movement in Florida among horticulturalists to do edible lawns. Have you heard about this?
there's a movement everywhere to do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
there is? I haven't. Well, I don't go anywhere outside of Florida. But I just found out about this. So people are actually planting vegetation that looks attractive, but that they can also eat it. So you have stuff like that too, it sounds like.
Well, we have a pretty much usual kind of lawn at the moment, but I have beds all around the house with things that are edible.
So you're growing herbs, like you're growing herbs in like a raised bed garden?
No, right in the ground.
All right, well, now let me ask you a question. I kill everything. What would be
Not
something good for
herbs.
me to start? Herbs would be good?
Yes, herbs are very forgiving.
Okay.
Benign neglect is the name of their tune. So just plant them and leave them alone.
Okay. So you don't even recommend me having like a little herb near my kitchen sink. These need to go outdoors.
Better outdoors. If you have an herb by your kitchen sink, you're too inclined, I think, to add water
Oh, okay.
or pay too much attention. They do much better with little less attention.
It is funny because people like on holidays always bring me plants, and I think to myself, you know, you're a saboteur. You're setting me up to fail. You know I'm gonna kill this, especially my mom and dad. My mom and dad are like you. They can grow anything, and they use it in their foods, and it's great. And they know I kill everything. This has been the disappointment of their lives, having a child like me that I can't. They keep giving me things, hoping for the future. It's not looking good, Alice.
Well, okay, here's an easy one to start with. Try parsley.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe even I can't kill that.
Maybe even you can't kill that. And the other thing is in Florida, what Florida full sun is not what the growers are anticipating when they write full sun on the plant.
Oh.
Florida full sun is extraordinary sun.
Oh.
So you have to be sure that you have a variety that can survive in Florida.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. Now, are you planning any? I know with COVID it really has changed our world as writers. What are you planning this year? Are you doing any festivals or anything we can be watching out for you?
I don't have any immediate plans. I just did a book signing for a new bookshop in Maine right before
Oh,
we left.
nice. What was the name of that place?
Um, Bibliophile Bookshop and Coffee House
Oh, cool. Okay,
in
so that's
Raymond,
really
Maine.
smart. A lot of these book places are opening with a coffee place. That's really smart.
Yeah,
So
and
now what city was that in?
in Raymond.
Raymond. Okay, I don't know where that is. I spent some time up in Maine, as someone from Massachusetts, but I don't know that town.
Raymond is not so far from Portland.
Oh, okay.
It's a little tiny town. And
Okay.
we love to have independent bookshops thrive. So when I walked into the bookshop to see what was going on and told the owner about my book, she said, "Oh, would you come and do a signing?"
Oh, that's great.
Which I did, and it brought lots of people into the store.
Oh,
And
well,
lots
that's
of new
really
sales for my book as well.
that's great. And then if you have any updates about your new book, please give them to me and I'll put them in the show notes.
Okay.
So now where would people find you on social media?
They can find me at aliceoldford.com.
Okay, and then your books are where?
Um, Books are most readily available at Amazon.
Okay.
The local bookshops are primarily in Maine.
Okay, well, I'm going to put a link to all that in the show notes. And then is there anything else you wanted to close with?
I have kind of a cool, if we have time, Thanksgiving story.
Okay, we have 1 minute.
Okay, I think that'll work. In the late 60s, when I was a young married woman, we lived in a duplex with a nice backyard and the smallest kitchen I have ever seen. No more than 2 steps to any appliance or workspace. We had a German Shepherd named Mingo, and I thought it was a good idea to invite the family for Thanksgiving dinner. I think it's called Ignorance is Bliss. I was organized and excited to host my first big dinner party. The day arrived and the turkey was awaiting the stuffing and roasting. The turkey proved too much of a temptation for Mingo. While I was in a different part of the house, there was quite a commotion in the kitchen. When I arrived, I found Mingo had wrestled the turkey to the floor with the intention of devouring it.
Oh my gosh.
I was able to rescue the turkey and